Could AI do your job, and how do we future-proof ourselves? Let's speak this morning first to tech expert Dan Sodergren. Dan, good morning.
Good morning.
What jobs are most at risk from AI at the moment, Dan?
Well, I think the thing is, it's all to do with how much is your job repetitive and how much can it be automated. But also now, because of how great AI has got, it's starting to kind of inch its way into lots of different places. And Goldman Sachs saying about 50% of all jobs might be automated by 2045. So we've got a bit of time. Bill Gates very famously yesterday said he thinks that teachers and doctors have about 10 years until they're automated. And other people are saying about 60% of current jobs are going to be significantly changed by AI. And I think that's the point I kind of talk about in my talks about AI and the future of work is that jobs are going to be changed. I'm not 100% sure that people are going to be replaced. It's more you're going to be augmented with artificial intelligence, just like, let's be fair, Stephen, email and computers didn't stop jobs. They just changed them.
Yeah. Let's talk about what you're excited about and what you're worried about in relation to work and AI, Dan. First of all, the good bits of it. How can this be a force for good in the workplace?
Well, if you look at how stressed people are at the moment in the workplace, you look about employment engagement levels around the world and productivity, this means it's going to be a massive boost. If you can think, some of the parts of my job I don't like that are repetitive and a bit boring, like different meetings and maybe taking notes and maybe reading lots of emails and all these things that we might find a bit tedious as human beings. This means that we've got more time to do the great stuff which humans are great at, which is chatting together and being creative and being, emotionally intelligent and empathetic. And I think this is the exciting thing. So if you look at something like doctors will now have more time not to be on diagnosis side, but in the friendly and happier and human side of their work. And I think that's why a lot of people get into, especially vocational roles, is actually that they want to do good for the world. Now, if we allow computers to help us with the boring side, we actually might be able to do more good for the world. And that's what I'm kind of voting for most of the time.
What are you worried about in relation to work? Where could this go wrong? Where do we need to be careful, Dan?
I think we've got to be really deeply careful when it starts going into other areas. So let's say, for example, if AI starts to go into recruitment a little bit too much, then I'm a bit worried about what we might call the black box of these technology. You don't actually know why the computer says no, and that's what I'm a little bit concerned by. Also areas which get really complicated, like cyber security, because all of a sudden the computer's doing all this stuff and you didn't quite know what it's doing. And then the last one, to be honest with you, and I might get a bit told off for this one, but I'm always a little bit concerned about AI starting to write lots of code. And I know AI agents are now starting to write code relatively successfully. I'm slightly concerned by that, but I think it's most probably because I've watched The Terminator. Because when the computers start building their own computers and software programs, I might get a little bit concerned. But I'll be honest with you, I know lots of people in the industry, and they say actually it's a boon because coders can become more productive. So it's actually a good thing.
Fascinating. Dan, thanks so much for your time. Dan Sodergren is a tech and AI expert.